I'm a ladyboy. I'm a ladyboy, you know.
Technically, it would be transvestite because I'm not operated yet.
I'm English and Annie is Thai and she's a Thai ladyboy. And we have lived together here in Bangkok for about 7 years now.
I always dress as a woman. Yes, but inside I think of myself as a woman.
In my eyes, she's 10 times more beautiful than regular Thai girls.
I'm Leonid Paskovsky, and I came to Thailand, the #1 country in the world for the number of people who have changed gender, to find out how transgender people live here, to tell you their stories, and to meet those who are building family relationships with them.
So Annie and I met on Facebook. I just liked that she was pretty, first of all. That was it. You know, there's nothing else.
She was doing a cabaret gig in a hotel across the road. As I walk past, she walks up to me and puts her arm around me. I think, oh, this is nice. Aren't Thai people friendly?
You know, there's a lot of beautiful ladyboys here, but there's not too many that have a beautiful kind of personality. You know, I guess like you'd say that about everybody. So that's what I kind of liked about her.
He have a kind and gentle and look like a good man, you know. This is what I like about him when we first met.
She spent the night with me that night. We hooked up again the next Thursday night. From that day, we've been together, yes?
Yep.
Yes. Job.
More people.
I always tell everyone who texted me that I'm not a real woman. I'm a transvestite. Yeah, not operated. To be clear, always.
I was lucky enough to meet Sonia 2 years after her operation, so she was fully adjusted to her new lifestyle, her intimacy life. Again, you know, she felt into the whole difference of that lifestyle as well.
If you want to know how people live in other countries and see more of my travels, subscribe to this channel. The more subscribers, the more amazing places I can show you.
Bye, let's go.
Sit.
No.
You want to have accident?
Yeah.
You're crazy. Okay. Well, oh my God. Let's go. I visited her. I came out in March and they came out in June. Right, and in June we talked about her coming to Australia in September, and we needed to organise her passport and her visa and everything else.
Basically, here in Thailand, shops as well as prostitution are outlawed. But in the Arab neighbourhood, right here, where you can smell the delicious shawarma, the hookahs, people are dressed in completely different clothes. It's a different world. A Muslim world. And strangely enough, this is the neighborhood where you can buy any goods, any size and any purpose for your enjoyment. And of course, you can find more than just toys in this Muslim neighborhood, almost in plain sight. A person's gender identity doesn't always coincide with their biological sex. That is, you can be born with the biological features of a boy, but feel like a girl. You can be homo, hetero or bisexual. You can get gender reassignment surgery. You can be comfortable in a man's body and feel like a woman. I mean, there's a huge number of combinations and options. And I was able to film the stories of 3 women. All of them were born male, but then they decided to follow different paths of gender identity.
I think for me, I felt that I wanted to be a woman since a very young age, maybe less than 10 years old.
I feel like a girl all the time, you know, when I was young, I steal bra from my mom, you know, wearing and take a towel to pretend to be my hair, you know, and then...
When she got to that age of puberty, no, they weren't a well-to-do family, and those hormones aren't cheap, right? And Sonia wanted to take the hormones to offset the male transition.
A basic gender reassignment, a standard one, let's say male to female, like the most common option, because the reverse, the female to male gender reassignment, is much more complicated. Male to female, well, it starts with hormone therapy, a year, at least 1 year. That is, female hormones are prescribed to a person to inject, hormone therapy to prepare the body.
And father really had a big issue with that because, they don't have the 300 baht a week, to spend on, hormones. That's food for, the family for the week, You get the idea? So there was a big rift in the family and she was like basically kicked out of home.
I came here about 12. I just out from school, And then I go to South to Koh Samui, begin to dancing cabaret show for real,
So she spent 3 years in the monastery because she wasn't accepted at home. But in that 3 years, she started working as a dancer. From the dancing process, she started generating money to buy her hormones. And from the hormone therapy, she was able to get more money to have the breast augmentation. And all these sort of things built up. She was able to buy makeup and buy all the things that fulfilled her life.
The primary surgery, the bottom surgery, it costs around 300,000 baht, 250,000 baht, roughly speaking, $9,000 to $10,000. How much does it cost to get a breast job? Well, maybe 150,000 baht. That's around $5,000, I guess.
I used to take a lot of hormone because I want to have boobs, right? But it's not good for my body, not good for my blood pressure, and to take for a long time. And the best way to do it, to have a boob, just go to the doctor and have operation. That's it. Just only one thing I want to have. That's it, like my boob,
Well, let's just say changing the genitalia, the bottom surgery itself, lasts about 5 hours. Then you have to stay in hospital for a week, 4 to 5 days after the surgery, to recover. And then after a week, the stitches are removed. And on the 7th to 8th day, then it's recommended to stay in Thailand for 5 days to recover. And that's it. It takes a couple of weeks, roughly speaking.
Well, usually most ladyboys, right, when they start taking hormones, they can start when they're about 12 or something. And in the village, they can buy, like, female contraceptive pills. It's got estrogen in it, so it makes a difference if you're taking them, right, a lot. I can remember when you had a phase where you were taking, like, maybe they'll take 2 or 3 a day.
Yes.
And you completely change.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Cabaret is one of those sort of things that they can do. They don't have access to a lot of senior positions in society. So they are they do what they can.
The only industries that are open about gay people, no matter how they dress or they appear, is the fashion industry, the beauty industry, and the showbiz.
Before I job for that thing, and now I change for my life because and I have plan for future, have to study for make hair, have open the shop hair for future too.
Everything I invest in, I like to see a return on investment. Even if it's my girlfriend. Sorry, it's. I'm not giving you the money. You are going to have to pay this back.
I used to be a fashion journalist when I just came back from France a long time ago, more than a decade ago. And then I opened my own business as a pastry chef, cooking French pastries. So to relate this to this topic is easier because you own your own business, so you don't have to be judged by HR people or like your boss, because you are the boss.
I want to have massage shop, or selling thing online, and shoe, handbag, or hormone,
Foreigners, that come here, and so she takes them to the clinic and, liaises with the doctors and all this kind of stuff.
If they don't join the fashion industry or the showbiz, they have to be like, the worst case is like prostitute.
I think most of them do, and keep it for save it some for make operation, some send back to their family.
They don't care what she does. You know, they don't care how she's made that money. They just want some of it.
But some just like, you know, you must make money, send me back. Send me back every month like this, you know.
But when they begin sending money back home, they sort of buy acceptance. You know, if they go back to their village with a lot of money and give money to people, oh, nobody's going to say, oh, Kathoey, Kathoey, Kathoey. They're all going to say, oh, JD, and, you know, all that kind of stuff, right? Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
You know, I've been married 3 times. And I've had some, you know, good, you know, positive relationships with the women. I can't complain about, you know, I didn't choose to have a ladyboy girlfriend because I wasn't happy with my relationships with women, or that I was kind of secretly harboring a desire to meet a lady. There was nothing, I didn't even think about that kind of thing at all.
Have you ever had the relationship with the pre-op?
Yeah, my first one was when I was 21 years old. And even when we went swimming and she would go swimming in a G-string, you know, you would never think that she was male. You know, they just know how to tuck very well.
So in Thailand as well?
No, this was in Australia. This was an Australian girl. So there's that. I left that scene when I was about 26. And that's when, around the time that I started dating a regular woman, because I think I was going through that change in life, which said, well, you know, I'm not going to be able to have children of my own in this gender fluid society. I found somebody who was very tomboyish, right, but, you know, very much female. And so, you know, that's the 20 years together we spent.
I came across the 3rd gender, and I became interested in that, and I thought, wow, what on earth is that all about? So I did some reading about it, looked at some pictures, looked at porn, obviously, and I thought, wow, these ladyboys or whatever are actually more beautiful than women. And, you know, of course, the whole fact that they've got a penis and, you know, male genitalia, you know, I didn't really know how to kind of deal with that. It wasn't something that attracted me.
I say when I was a young boy, you know, like, you know, I wouldn't think twice to go to a party dressed as a girl. And I was very experimental. I was into anything that was called taboo, you know, polyamory and all the other different amories.
So, you know, I just kind of ignored the fact that they had, you know, male genitalia to start with. And, you know, after a while I stopped worrying about that and I stopped thinking about it, and, you know, I rationalised it. Well, you know, it doesn't really matter if you care about somebody. Well, who cares what their genitalia is? So it's not an issue. And of course now, 7 years down the line, it's not something I even think about.
For sexual relationship, I would prefer like a masculine looking people. It can be straight, it can be bisexual, it can be gay people. I have always preferred men. I've never dated a woman. I've never had sex with a woman. And I wouldn't say I would never, but it still hasn't come to my attention that I would like to try. I watch gay porns too and straight porns. Yeah, but no, for me, no special fetish. Yeah, but there are a lot of like she-male fetish that some European people watch and love. And that's why those people come to Thailand.
In fact, it surprises me sometimes when people make comments, oh, you're gay and all this sort of stuff. And I usually answer, well, so what? You know, if you want to think I'm gay, if that makes you feel comfortable, that's fine.
In the gay scene, transgender, transvestites are quite niche. Normally gay people, like on some application, dating application, they would look for masculine looking people. So my market is quite niche. Yeah, but it's not impossible. And right now, I think it's a trend for straight guys to try, especially those who come to Thailand. They're curious. Yeah.
You see color, what you think?
I like this one.
Okay.
You like this one?
Yeah. Beautiful.
I think this one good.
เอาสีเงินนี่แหละ
She, for the first 3 months or 4 months of our relationship, she didn't know that I knew that she was a ladyboy. But it was, the telltale signs, the height, the voice, the beauty, right? Quite in my eyes, she's 10 times more beautiful than regular Thai girls. Which is one of the things that attracted me to her.
The Democrats already take the House because in that case, of course,
So what you got here?
impeach Brett Kavanaugh.
Kitchen.
What do you cook?
Not clean at all. Mess. You can see how messy this.
So how much time you spend to make up?
Depend, like sometimes about 10 minutes, sometimes 20 minutes, or sometimes like hour, 1.5 hours. Depend where I'm gonna go. He took care of me a lot, he like my family. And he never gonna throw me away. This is what I understand,
I don't know to say. I don't know to say about you, right? About you very good for me, everything. But he make me smile. He have me happy every day. I love him too much. Yes or no, Panda?
Panda?
Yeah. They call him Panda every night because before I see him look like a Jack Sparrow and now him look like a panda. Oh my God. Why? I think him like Thai food too much and him eat too much Thai food, I want to go now. Okay, take care. I want to go now.
รักคนจริง
He's
ๆ
better.
รักคนตลอดไป Stretch.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Well, I don't get mood swings. There is no mood swings. She's not even on hormones to produce a mood swing. So no mood swings. We don't have that time of the month where it's taboo. She generally sort of laughs at the same thing as I laugh at. We laugh at each other. We have jokes. We had jokes with each other, right, about the most inane little things. But other than that, it's a tightness in the relationship that we trust each other.
I already have relationship with Thai before. It's long term, right? Only have Thai before and really different from foreign, with the Thai partner.
But she was dating a Japanese boy probably for 3 years before we met. And then she went through a gender transition or a gender reassignment operation. And he actually distanced himself from her. He broke off the relationship because he wanted a pre-op ladyboy. Shorting. This most people don't know the significance of an engagement ring. This is done in ruby, and the three stone setting actually represents love you today, tomorrow, and forever. Today, tomorrow, and forever. Yeah, so we are engaged. We've been engaged for 5 years now. We just haven't got around to getting married.
In Thailand, ladyboys can't change any of their documentation. Their driving license and ID cards, it still says male, and they can't get married.
We have always had cross-dressers or gay people in Thai culture, and somehow we have learned to tolerate that throughout the centuries. Yes, and the religion itself doesn't forbid that explicitly.
Buddhists generally, teach tolerance, don't they, and acceptance of all people. And it's said that the Buddha lived many lives, and he was probably Kathoey himself in one of those incarnations, and therefore it's likely that all people in one incarnation or reincarnation will be Kathoey themselves.
We have a word for transvestites and cross-dressers and transgender. We use the same word. It's called Kathoey. And at that time, when I was young, for the Buddhist people, the monks at that time, they explained that there were people who did a lot of karma in their past lives. But a certain kind of karmas, maybe involve sex or something like that. So in this life, they were born to become homosexuals.
But it doesn't mean they had bad karma.
They had bad karmas. This is how to it's your redemption in this life for that karma.
Are you agree with that?
No. No.
No.
I never have problem too much about people accept or not accept, Just only one people from my family, I worry about my dad when I was young, He not want me to be a ladyboy, that's it.
Somehow, superficially, on the surface at least, they are quite tolerant of gay people. I mean, no matter what degree, like cross-dresser, just gay people, or transvestites and everything, they're quite open because they treat them as another tribe, and they use another rules to judge or gauge their behaviors. But deeper, it's still unaccepted. Like, it's hard to be a transvestite, to become a civil servant, for example, or to be a soldier, or to become a teacher, because a teacher is a profession in Thailand that is quite respected. So, and they are afraid, especially the old people, that the students would imitate their teachers. So it means that if they believe this, it means that they don't approve of homosexuality in their minds.
Some people do say they're kind of uncomfortable about ladyboys going in the ladies. Some girls say they're a bit uncomfortable.
Some in university, they just put this paper, side of the female toilet, like, please can ladyboy use another toilet,
Yeah. I think Thai people, it's not that they're reticent to talk about these things, it's that they don't think about them. Maybe true to say that Westerners spend more time thinking about this than Thai people do. And there's a lesson to be learned there in don't think too much. Thai culture is less about spending time on self-reflection and worrying about what you are, and probably, accepting that all people have different ideas and they're all equally valid and important, and we should try to listen to them in that way.
Those straight guys who had slept with me, they still consider themselves straight because they treat me as a woman. Yeah. And the rest is like technical. Yeah. But matters for the heart is like, you are a woman. I like the woman. But maybe they are fooling themselves too, so it's too complex to explain.
Quite a few people will make comments, like saying things like, oh, you're deluding yourself. You're fooling yourself into believing you're not gay. And there is a sort of strong desire amongst people to kind of pigeonhole stuff. And that's kind of understandable because that's how we understand the world. But I think Westerners need to spend time in Thailand before they truly kind of understand that life is a bit more amorphous than that. We can't always pigeonhole things in that same way. And, sexuality is very different here in Thailand than it is in the West, in my opinion anyway.
Because in Thailand it's very family-based. We don't have social security system. So everything relies on the family, and I know that I will not have children. So for Thai people, it's very hard. Now I'm still comfortable financially. My parents, they still have money, but you will never know what would happen to me. And what if I become poor or bankrupt? When I turn 60, 70, when I don't have the energy to work anymore, what will become of me if I get sick, ill?
But can't you adopt a child from an orphanage or something like that?
Okay, good question. I can, but I would adopt them to nurture them, to take care of them, or to make my life complete as the giver. But I would never expect them, when they grow up, to come back and take care of me. So it's not the same case with the social security thing.
Well, Annie loves children, don't you? I mean, that is the tragedy of ladyboys' lives, really, that they can't have children. I mean, and this is often why some relationships don't last, because if a ladyboy meets a younger guy, like say your age, right, at some point in your life, it's quite likely that you want to have children. And most men don't want to adopt if they're capable of producing children themselves. So often that relationship's going to break. And that kind of happens with ties, doesn't it? I've spoken to a few ladyboys who've had...
It's happened a lot.
It's come up in conversations a couple of times, but again, I'm 57, having a knee biter, running around your feet every 5 minutes of the day. Because don't forget, I'm the one at home and I have to look after him or her.
I think there is a degree of responsibility in as much as that if you are living with or married to a poorer Thai girl or ladyboy, and what would happen to her if you kind of finished with her? I mean, I've talked to her about, what's she going to do when I die, because clearly I'm going to die before she does. And although I might be able to leave provision for her, still she'll have a whole life ahead of her then, where she can meet somebody else and do all sorts of things. So,
have you seen old ladyboys? I mean, who became like 60, 70 years old, like. So how they finish their life usually? I mean, ladyboys.
I don't see too much actually.
Well, I think they tend to go back to their village, or don't they? I mean, you see occasionally around.
Because I think, like over the last 9 years, I've met probably 50 of her friends, in that area, the ladyboys and Kathoey, and the different stages in between. And I think we've had 5 deaths in 9 years.
Life expectancy is shorter because of hormone therapy, because after surgery you have to take hormones for the rest of your life. It's probably because of that, too. But I was asking, I didn't ask the question, or rather, I heard this thought on the subject. One person said, I'd rather live 5 or 10 years the way I wanted to live my whole life than just live up to 70. Surviving, suffering, and so on. I'd rather live 10 years, but in harmony with myself, with my true self.
Badly about taking hormone. When you use this for a long time, it's gonna give you headache. With mine, right, already have problem with headache and white blood pressure.
So Annie, are you happy?
Always.
And what's your dream? What are you dreaming of?
I wanna have a house, close to the beach with David and with big dog, and we're gonna have like another business,
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
My dream only like have David, close by me.
Jinla.
The basic question that a doctor, a psychiatrist, sometimes asks such patients is, why? What for? What is the purpose of the surgery itself? I'm speaking from a personal experience. What I have seen, because I had to be present in all these situations, the answer is basically the same. To find harmony of the body and the soul. Because we were born in the wrong body, we feel this way, but visually, we are seen differently. And after the surgery, I could see that people had their dreams come true. For real, that was their dream. And in this respect, yes, they are determined. As if you look at the person's spirit from the outside, they pursue their dreams no matter what. Because they all have their stories, very tough and sometimes very sad.
I decided not do a whole operation because, I just love myself like this. If I'm gonna have the one who loves me, gonna love me like this, not about operation, You have operation, you have a full operation, it's not mean you're gonna have true love or you're gonna have a good life, This is be what you are, that's it, It's everything not about operation. Just about be what you're happy,
After listening to all this, ignoring all these facts, all these stereotypes, simply because they have the will to fulfill their dreams, to find this harmony, to become what they wanted to be their whole life. Not everyone manages to do it at 19, at 15. Some do it at 40. You have a dream come true, and it's as if your whole life starts at this moment, just now. It is certainly inspiring. Inspiring in terms of the fact that people are so motivated.
I remember you said something really interesting to me a long time ago about when you were young, right? You wanted to be like a girl, but then when you knew yourself better, you realised that you actually are what you are and accepted yourself for what you are. And so you didn't feel the need to have sex change surgery.
Yeah, I think of myself as a woman.
100%.
Yeah, a woman. But maybe now, as I'm getting older, I wouldn't call myself a woman or a man, but I'm just me. I'm Moo. I don't know who I am. I mean, I know who I am, but I don't know if it's a man or a woman. Just like a person.
Yeah.
Ladyboys are not trying to convince anybody that they are genetic women. Annie's never tried to convince anyone she's a genetic woman. And they even call themselves that Sao Prophet Tong, right?
Yeah.
Second kind of woman. They don't try to fool anybody. And I think that backlash is because in the West, there's an awful lot of kind of activists, if you like, that are insisting that they are real women, like Caitlyn Jenner and all that kind of stuff, right? Which is just, nobody that employs logic in any way would ever say that that's possible. You can't simply change your, your gender, sex, whatever you want to call it. They kind of define these things, gender and sex and all that, but it's all just muddies the water. I mean, I think, so my feeling is you just need to give people a bit of time and stop trying to insist that this is what you must say and do, and, Thai people just don't do that.
Just ultimately don't confine yourself to a box, right? Try to live life outside other people's perception, right? Try to find your own life.